Scary fables.
The reflection room. I used to work the night shift at a small, private museum downtown. Nothing glamorous, mostly security checks, flicking lights on and off, logging each room every hour. The place was old, dusty, the kind of museum that hadn't updated its displays since the early 90s. It mostly showcased antique mirrors and optical illusions from Victorian-era carnivals. Stuff like zoetropes, concave mirrors, that sort of thing. There was one exhibit that always made me feel strange. We called it the reflection room. It was tucked away at the end of the west wing, separated from the rest of the museum by a long, narrow corridor with a sensor light that never quite worked right. The room itself was simple, four walls completely covered in antique mirrors. Floor to ceiling, hundreds of them. Some were cracked, some foggy, some warped. In the center of the room stood a velvet rope and a sign that read, "Do not touch the mirrors. Do not enter after hours. Do not look too long." I always thought the last line was weirdly poetic, until one night I did exactly what the sign told me not to. It started with a whisper. I was finishing my rounds a little after 2 a.m. when I passed the corridor to the reflection room and heard something. At first, I thought it was the old ventilation system groaning to life, but the sound came again, softer this time. A voice. Just one word. My name. Brian. I stopped. The corridor behind me was dark, sensor light dead again. I stared into the black for a full minute before sighing and stepping in to fix it. The bulb flickered to life as I approached the reflection room door. Everything looked normal. No movement, no shadows. I chalked it up to being overtired, maybe having a little auditory hallucination. That happens, right? Still, the whisper stuck with me. I found myself staring at the sign. Do not look too long. I don't know what came over me, but I unhooked the velvet rope and stepped inside. The air in the room was cold, much colder than the rest of the museum. As I stood in the center, surrounded by mirrors, I noticed something off. In each reflection, I looked slightly different. In one, my mouth was hanging open wider than it should have been. In another, my eyes were entirely black. Some had me standing still, while others showed me swaying or twitching. But I wasn't moving. I turned quickly, looking behind me. Nothing. Just the door. The real me. But when I looked back into the mirrors, something had changed. There was another person, not in the room with me, but in the reflections. A tall figure in a black suit standing just behind me. Every mirror showed him. Pale skin, wide grin, no eyes, just hollow, gaping sockets. I spun around, no one there. I looked again, still there, closer now. I ran. I slammed the door behind me and ran the rest of my rounds early. I didn't go back near that corridor, not even close. When I checked the security cameras later, the reflection room feed was just static. It always worked before that night. I didn't say anything to my supervisor. What could I say? The next night, I told myself it had to have been sleep deprivation. Maybe the mirrors played tricks on me. But as I passed the corridor again, the light flickered, and I swear I saw movement. I kept walking. The third night, I called out sick. I couldn't do it, but curiosity gnawed at me. That thing, the reflection, it hadn't just appeared out of nowhere. It knew my name. I went back on night 4. Everything was normal for the first few hours. Then, around 1:45 a.m., I noticed something strange on my round log clipboard. A new entry, written in handwriting that wasn't mine. Checked reflection room. Everything's fine now. Brian. Except I hadn't written that, and I hadn't gone near the reflection room. I looked down the corridor. The light was on. I didn't go in. I quit the job the next morning. I didn't give notice, didn't explain, just left my badge and walked out. Weeks passed. I started feeling better, sleeping again. My mind cleared up, but then one night I caught my reflection doing something strange. I was brushing my teeth, and in the mirror I saw myself, smiling. Just a little too wide, just a moment too long. And I swear, for a split second, I wasn't the only one looking back at me. Or was I?
Another scary fable told. Another night survived. For daily eerie stories and unsettling fables, like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you'll be ready for tomorrow's tale.